Hello, thank you, and welcome to this webinar. My name is Michael Wolfe. I am CEO of a company called Bottom-Liine Analytics. Bottom-Liine Analytics is a company that leverages the tool and power of data and analytics in order to drive positive bottom-line performance for companies like yours. Today's webinar is about the subject of pricing. Evidence shows that there's no single issue that marketing people deal with or touch that has such a large and profound impact on the bottom line performance of their company and their products. To this end, we're going to today talk about how you can drive from 5 to 30% more ROI or profit with a system called demand-based pricing. First, let's define who this webinar is for in consideration for your time. It is for the CEO, the Chief Financial Officer, and the Chief Marketing Officer who have bottom line P&L responsibilities and accountabilities. These are the people where the buck stops. It's also for sales and marketing managers who are involved in pricing decisions and in the implementation of pricing decisions. But it's also for support people in your business, people who are involved with like business intelligence or insight, who provide information to the decision makers involved in pricing. Demand-driven pricing strategy is a system that requires analytics and data tools. So in order to get there and benefit from this strategy, your company and your products are going to need at least 3 years of pricing data and also retail sales or shipments data by month for the 3-year period of time. In terms of what kind of companies this is designed for, this demand-based pricing strategy works equally and effectively well for both business to consumer and business to business enterprises. So let's get down to the basics here. What is demand-based pricing? Demand-based pricing is a behavior-based system where pricing decisions are based on precisely how your market or how your customers respond to changes in your product's price. It is fundamentally based upon the concept of price elasticity. Remember from Economics 101. It is your product's price elasticity, that is, how your price affects your product sales. But it's also how the price of competitors affect the demand for your product. So there are two elements to this knowledge and insight that we need to acquire. So the formal definition of price elasticity, as shown here, is the percent change in your current sales for your product versus some base period as a result of or due to the percent change in price for this product over the same period of time, or the change in price for your competitor products. Demand-based pricing leverages the power of data and analytics, a critical, important analytic tool that we're going to need to develop in order to precisely measure these price elasticities is what we call a predictive model. As you can see here, this is an architecture of a predictive model for a do-it-yourself product that is sold through chains like Lowe's and Home Depot. So on the left here, we have inputs and an output. The inputs here are brand price at the lowest level of detail, the SKU level, similar pricing information on competitor products, some measure, thirdly, of the health of the business we're competing in, the category. So Bureau of Labor Statistics collects survey data on consumer spending for home improvement projects. So we include these measures into our model. And finally, there is a cyclical factor we call seasonality. With the case of the product that we're looking at, there is a predictable pattern of a higher level of sales in the months between May and October, and a lower level of sales for the remainder months. So the first thing we do is we collect this data, and our output here is period by period, in this case weekly retail sales for by different home improvement retailers. The first task that we need to do is to run and validate our model, which is what you see here. In the white area, you see two things. You see the actual weekly sales for this product line in the blue line, and in the red line, you see the estimated sales on the historical sales data for this product line as well. Now you can visually see the red and the blue lines are pretty close to being superimposed on each other. So this is a very good historical fit. For validating this model, we do two things. We look at the historical fit, which I just showed you here, which is excellent. And then we need to understand how well this tool or this model predicts a period of time which the model doesn't previously know. So the blue area represents our holdout period. So once we've done the historical fitting of the model, we plug in the model's factors or parameters into the future in order to see how well this model actually predicts a period of time which it has no prior knowledge. Our next step here is to actually derive the price elasticities for our product lines. In this case, we have two product lines. We have a standard product line or brand, which is represented by the red line, and a premium brand or product line represented by the green line. What this line represents, the vertical is sales or change in sales, the horizontal is price or change in price. So we can map onto a chart how different price changes affect the demand for these two respective product lines. So for example, as we're pointing here, a 3% price increase results in a minus 11.7% sales decline for our premium line and a minus 2.1% decline for our standard product line. So what we see here is not uncommon. Two different product lines that have a very different price elasticity. The red product is what we call a relatively price inelastic product, minus 0.5, and the green line is a highly elastic price response. The next step in our exercise is to drill down to further detail within our products. So typically, pricing decisions are made at the lowest level of detail in terms of defining our product. Usually, there are multiple SKUs that comprise a product line, so the product lines as we showed you previously. So we need to understand the impact of pricing on our overall product line sales at the SKU level. So we do this simulation, and you can see here that SKU 18 has accounts for 37% of the impact of a pricing change on the entire product line. Typically what we see here when we do this exercise is a manifestation of what we call the 80-20 rule. A relatively small number of SKUs or products account for the dominant impact of any particular pricing change. So now what I'd like to do is take you to a real-world example. What you see here is a simulator tool that's derived from this model. So at the bottom here, we see along the side, this column, we see our premium product line along with 10 SKUs that comprise that line, and our standard product line, which involves 12 SKUs. And we're going to start by setting the price of our standard product line all to zero change. So the blue area is where we can change the price, and we're going to show you how you can see what the impact of those changes will be. So in this section here, we have the actual pricing by SKU, the margins by SKU, unit sales, revenue sales, and profits of each of the SKUs, and those are all aggregated at the top by product line. On the right area, we see a simulation or a forecast area. So when there is a change in price, it's reflected in this column, and the margins are adjusted accordingly. From our model, we derive a new unit sales number based upon the price change that we implement. And then that's carried forward to revenue and profit. So what I'm going to show you here, by changing the individual prices of these 12 standard product SKUs, we're going to do what is known as a price optimization exercise. This is using a tool that we call Solver that's built into Excel. It's called an Excel add-in, and it is an optimization tool. So in order for this to work, it has to be pointed at to an objective, which is a variable. This is our estimated profit for the standard product line. And then we direct the optimization to change the prices of those 12 SKUs from minus 3.5% to plus 3.5% price change, and anywhere in between, in such a way that you take this $55.2 million current profit and you make that as large as you possibly go within these range of price changes. So we solve for that, and what do we find? We find that our profit goes from 55.2 to $59.3 million. We've now added $4 million plus to our profit line for the standard product line, a 7.3% increase. In addition, we've already run this same exercise for our premium product line, and we have achieved a $7.5 million increase in profit, an 11% increase. All total, both of these lines together generate a 9.4% increase in total profitability for these products. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to go back and finish our discussion. So what are the next steps that we need to take here? So, well, what I've shown you is demand-based pricing is based upon some tools and methods applied from data and analytics. These tools guide us to understanding price elasticity in its full detail. We have a working tool that enables us to actually see the impact of any price change and to actually optimize a price change and generate the highest level of profit possible. So with all that said, I would like for you to think a little bit about your situation and perhaps how we could help you out to improve the profitability of your pricing decisions. So what I'm offering here is to schedule with you, between myself and you and your team, a free no obligation 30-minute consulting conversation. Before we do that, I highly recommend that we sign a mutual non-disclosure agreement so that we can be open and honest with each other and with no fear of disclosure. And what I'm going to do during this period of time is I like to understand your pricing challenges, your competitive challenges, your go-to-market challenges, as all of these impact your pricing decisions. And then we'll try to understand your opinion of this, of the effectiveness of your pricing decisions and the knowledge that you're using presently for making pricing decisions. And then if there is a fit here, we're going to outline to you what it will take to improve your pricing decisions and become and to implement a demand-driven pricing strategy. Thank you very much for your time. Now here is my contact information. I would very much love hearing from you, and perhaps we can set up this 30-minute consult time, or just give me some. I appreciate any kind of feedback on what you learned during our time together today.